Still knocking out those Star Wars reviews. And I'm going to get a little heavy on the spoilers in this one. So if you happen to have not seen this particular Star Wars film and you are actually interested in it, I have to talk about some things that are very spoilery, but also are reasons why I think my opinion has changed on this film, interestingly enough. So they're actually kind of important, and yep, I actually think this movie's gone up for me. So that's good news. I'm Mac from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Star Wars Rogue One. I'm a blind film critic, so on this viewing, I did not get to see those cool visual effects. I have, however, seen them in the past, so, I did get to see this. This is actually only my second viewing of Rogue One. I didn't really care for the film the first time around. It wasn't my favorite, for reasons I will explain. However, I would like to say immediately that Ben Mendelsohn is like everything. He's everything in every movie. He is so great and so underrated as an actor. I love Felicity Jones in this, Forrest Whitaker. I think isn't Diego Luna doing a series for Cassian? Isn't Cassian getting a series? I feel like he is. And I love I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. I love that guy. I wish that guy would get a Star Wars series. He's super entertaining. And Riz Ahmed was in this. So there's a lot of people, and some of the, we'll call them legacy characters. I know that's like a horror movie term, but some of the legacy characters pop up throughout this. But that's kind of the core cast, for those who want to know what's up. And they do a good job. They actually did such a great job that when I watched this first time around, I liked Gareth Edwards when he gave us monsters. I was like, he did a lot with very little. That was amazing. And since then, I have yet to be impressed by him, by the stuff that he's done, except on the second viewing of this, I really started to turn around on the film. When I watched the film the first time, I didn't realize, I kind of knew what it was. And honestly, when I decided to review Rogue One after A New Hope, I kind of also forgot exactly where it ended. I thought it overlapped a little bit more than it did. I thought they were a little bit more simultaneous. But they're not. I totally forgot that Leia is at the end of the film, and that's how she gets the plans. Literally, really, truly forgot that. I forgot that ending. I remembered Vader was in the film, but I forgot that they got the de-aged Leia in there because she was still alive at the time. Carrie Fisher. But yeah, my biggest problem with the film ended up being that everyone dies. And I got so emotionally connected and invested to all these characters. I thought it was just such a depressing ending. I was like, you couldn't put one of these characters in an escape pod and shoot them off into space so that possibly somewhere along the line we might run into them later on. Like, one of them, just damn, like, it's such a depressing ending to a film. I know that they all sacrificed for this greater cause, but you spend an entire film getting interested in all of these characters that are created from nothing. This is not an introduction, a prequel to, one of the, like a C-3PO origin story or something like that. This is literally just a bunch of random new characters. You're like, okay, well, I'm in this. Okay, I sort of understand the Star Wars world, and you see where it's going. You're like, okay, so this is the story of this happens, and well, they either all die in combat or when the planet they're on explodes. So it's a gut punch of an ending. But this time I went into it knowing that that's how it was going to end, and it didn't hit me because I knew how the movie was going to end. It's one of those things where it's like, I know people, they like always rail against spoilers, but for me, I didn't know the ending to Rogue One when I walked into it. I saw it, soon, like when it came out, and dropped my review of it, and didn't care for it. I want to say I gave it a B minus or a C plus, somewhere around in there. Didn't love it. Thought it was okay, but whatever. But I was just that ending just took a film that I was like, oh, this was a great film, and then I was like, oh my god, with this ending. But then when you know the ending's coming, and you've seen the film before, and you're able to approach it from a different light, I still felt really bad for losing all those characters, and I still don't believe it's a great ending, but it didn't gut punch me the way that it did the first time when I didn't know it was coming. So I found myself enjoying Rogue One and being a little bit more open-minded to Rogue One the second time around. So I think I'm actually warming up to this film, I guess is what I'm saying. I think this film is growing on me. It's got such a talented cast, and these characters that they did create for the film really should have been used in other things. I hope there still is a Cassian Disney Plus show in the works, because, like I said, these characters are great, and my ire for this film in the beginning was directed almost entirely at the death of everyone. So yeah, it's just, those are morbid endings, and I don't even think it really had the emotional impact. It didn't even have the weight of something like Boy in the Striped Pajamas, where I just felt like it took my breath away. But so that was that. But the audio description for this film, again, is really good. Lots of action sequences, really well described. Lots of sci-fi elements, really well described. And because none of these characters exist except for the appearance of Darth Vader and Leia, they actually describe everybody. They're forced to, because they're new. Now, most of the main cast is human, so it makes it a little bit easier because you don't have to describe, like a giant blue monster with two noses protruding from his face and 6 eyes on top of his head with wings on his back. And you have to just start describing something that's like, and you're like, oh my god, what is this? Where does this description stop? But yeah, they're pretty easy to describe. So I would have been mad if they hadn't just described people who were just like humans in Star Wars costumes. But they do. It's a great job. Good job audio description. I like the film better the second time around. I have no complaints here, actually, except for the fact that I'm still never going to love the fact that everyone dies. This is never going to get an A from me. I'm warming up to it. I admit that. Especially as I'm like cramming all these Star Wars films into like the same space at the same time. I am warming up to Rogue One. But it's not a love thing yet. It's just more of an appreciation. It's an appreciation because I am realizing that I did love these characters so much, that they did create these characters I was so invested in, that when they all don't make it, it's because if I wasn't invested in the characters, it wouldn't matter. So hopefully you guys like Rogue One too, and I've my opinion that's swinging upwards on Rogue One is beneficial, and people aren't like, oh, Rogue One's terrible. I know we all have our opinions. We all rank Star Wars films differently. I'm sure there was somebody who was looking at my Attack of the Clones review and being like, What are you talking about? This is like the best Star Wars film. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with you, but I'm sorry. So that's Rogue One for me. Um, and I guess I'm gonna give it a B. Yeah, I think it's a little bit better for me than the other films so far. I think that's probably appropriate based on where I've given the other Star Wars films. That puts it actually better than all three prequel films, so that says something. Um, but eh, this film doesn't have Aiden Christensen in it. If it did, we'd be on a completely different plane. I will say that this film does have that one problem where, and when Darth Vader enters the screen, like all Star Wars films, it just assumes you know who Darth Vader is. So you can't start with Rogue One. You have to, you know, just immediately it's like, this is Darth Vader. Darth Vader enters the scene. They don't do it with Leia, interestingly, because I think you see her from behind first, or her face is hidden. So it's hers is a little bit different, but it's more of a surprise reveal. Vader just walks in and they're like, Darth Vader enters, and it's like, okay, what's up, Vader? Um, anyway, let me know what you think about Rogue One in the comments. I gotta keep churning out these Star Wars. Obi-Wan is almost upon us, and it drops the same day as Stranger Things. Why would anybody do that to us? Why? Why? Um, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and MacTheMovieGuy.com for more reviews, as well as the Audio Description Project for all your audio description needs. Yep, it's like going to Radio Shack, but for audio description. Anyway, until the next time that the Force is with me, and always with me and not with you and with somebody else, and I don't know. May the Force be with all of us at all times. I guess that's the moral of this story. Also, don't be on planets when they explode. That's also the moral of the story.